This is the Infinix Note 8, the successor to the recently announced Note 7, and for 90,400 naira, you are getting a device that features 6GB of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, and a relatively amazing performance. Hey guys, Oscarmini here. Putting the smartphone through its paces, I came to the realization that it occupies, or rather it fills a certain void, the category between the Infinix Note 7 and the Infinix 08. This is in fact like fine-tuning the Note 7 here and there. But then again, there's always a but, you know. Is the Note 8 actually worth taking a look at, considering the Note 7 was a huge leap from the Note 6? Do we get as much value for money in this iteration? Those are some of the questions we'll be answering in this video, and so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Within the box for the Infinix Note 8 are the smartphone itself, the little envelope thingy with the SIM ejector, a TPU silicone case, a screen protector film, user guide and warranty sticker, a USB Type-C connector, the regular Infinix earphone, and an 18-watt fast charging brick. In terms of the design, this is pretty much nothing new for Infinix. You get what really looks like the Hot 10. Volume rocker and power button, which also doubles as the fingerprint sensor to the right, and this is a fast biometric sensor as we know it. The dual nano SIM tray with a dedicated micro SD card slot to the left. A bland top, and also the bottom side housing the mouthpiece opening, headphone jack, USB-C, and a down-firing speaker grille, which makes up one of the stereo speaker configuration on this device. This huge device is made out of plastic, which is a good thing to keep this device affordable and also safe from shattering in case of those glassware devices. The color I have here is called the Deep Sea Luster, and I actually love how it reflects light. But guys, this here is a fingerprint magnet, and the only way to keep this rear clean is by using the case from within the box. While still on the rear, you get to see a quad camera configuration with a quad LED also. If you are more interested in seeing how this camera performs, you can quickly skip right now to the camera review section with a timestamp in the description box below. Build quality and display are on point, durable, and what you expect from this kind of device. A look at the display on here reveals a 6.95-inch LCD panel. We can call this a 7-inch display with a 1640 by 720 resolution, which is HD and not full HD. From the specs and my time using this smartphone, I didn't notice any difference between this display on here and the one on the previous Infinix Note 7. Now that I think of it, the only difference would be in the cutouts. There's a dual camera cutout on this device, unlike the single camera cutout on the Infinix Note 7. As for how bright this is under the sunlight, it is usable, and this display has a warm tint to it. For media consumption, I would say it serves that need decently. Obviously, I always want to discredit a 720 HD panel, especially for this screen size, but it looks and feels right as long as you're not pixel peeping. Who does that, by the way? While still on media consumption capability, the stereo speaker setup is still retained here, meaning no accidental or total blockout of sound coming from the Note 8, since there are two firing speakers from the top and bottom of this smartphone. As has been the custom with XOS, there are tons of bloatware apps and obtrusive ads in the notification pane. Few of the apps you might find useful, and the rest are pretty much ad factories. You get apps such as the X Note for taking notes and drawing, but this Note doesn't come with an X Pen and has no support for one, so I don't really see the point here. Before I hit you guys with how this smartphone performs, here are the specs. You're getting 6GB of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, Android 10, and this is powered by the Helio G80 processor. Definitely a gaming-centered processor from MediaTek, and a slight upgrade from the performance you'd get on Helio G70 powered devices like the Infinix Note 7. 6GB of RAM makes running multiple apps in the background doable, and also running games like PUBG feels smooth and enjoyable on here. For a sub $250 smartphone right now, performance is not something you'd complain about while using the Infinix Note 8. Of course, as you know, huge smartphones equal huge batteries, and that's exactly what you get from the Infinix Note 8. A 5200 mAh battery, which definitely takes you through a heavy day of use. To charge it up is the 18-watt fast charger within the box, and from one of these test days, it took roughly 2.5 hours to charge up from 0 to 100. Battery life here is solid, and you can't take that away from this device. Okay, specs for the camera before we take a look at the photos coming off the smartphone. We get a dual front camera configuration with 16 megapixel and 2 megapixel depth sensor, also with a dual LED flash at the front, while the rear features a 64 megapixel main lens, 2 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth sensor, and an AI cam. The resultant photo from the rear camera are in 16 megapixels, except you toggle on the 64 megapixel mode, which takes up more space for photos and didn't really make that huge a difference in terms of the quality coming off the smartphone. For the overall photo quality, they are passable, actually really decent photos. I'm not giving them a top score like I did the Infinix Note 7 as at the time I reviewed that device, because there wasn't a really better alternative around the smartphone price. But around the price of this device, the Note 8, the Redmi Note 9S seems to give better dynamic range for the images produced. So these are quite good photos, of course, better than the Infinix Note 7, but you could get more from another device out there if that makes any sense. Portrait mode mostly gets the job done for both the front and the rear cameras, but not always though. For the videos, you can record up to 2K in resolution without stabilization, and an ultra steady or stabilization feature can be turned on when you record in 1080p. For the front camera, same resolution of 2K can be achieved without ultra steady, with the option available only in 1080. Colors from the video are actually vibrant, they pop, and I kinda like how this camera handles exposure. Hey, what's up guys, Oscarmini here, and this is a front-facing camera video and audio test for the Infinix Note 8. I think this is pretty much decent and nice. What do you guys think about this front-facing camera, the color reproduction, how it handles the highlights and exposure here? Do let me know what you think in the comment section below. I really love to hear from you. Well, before I give you my verdict on the smartphone, I got this unit, the Infinix Note 8 6GB RAM and 128 gigs of storage for 90,400 Naira, roughly $230 when converted. With that out of the way and also at the back of your mind, what are my final thoughts on here? I personally don't think the Infinix Note 8 is worth you throwing your Note 7 out the window if you recently made that purchase. Yet again, I kind of prefer the Note 7's unique look. As far as performance and day-to-day use for an average consumer, the difference wouldn't be that huge a leap, especially when you have the 6GB variant of the Note 7. But if you're coming from an older Infinix device and you love this brand and also want to pick up a device from them, then by all means go get the Infinix Note 8 for a slightly better processing, camera and battery life than the Infinix Note 7. That's been it for this review. Do not forget to like, share, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that already. Other than that, it's goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Cuídate.